And to do that, let's bring in our panel. First of all, Skyping in from Madison, Wisconsin, the senior advisor at Progressives United, a former aide to Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid. It is Josh Orton waiting patiently, bedecked, festooned in a red tie and a hip sweater, as befits that area of the nation. And open collar casual from our South Florida Newsmax TV newsroom. We welcome in on the right the managing editor of the Shark Tank political blog, Javier Manjarres. Gentlemen, good to have you here. Josh, the icy reception. Can Mayor de Blasio overcome this real impediment with the NYPD?
Well, of course. And, you watch these things from afar and you start to realize how much of it is actually a manufactured political crisis that largely, I think, falls to the shoulders of the head of the police union and his just terribly divisive, horribly just inflammatory comments. Look, I think that Bill de Blasio has tremendous respect for the NYPD. I think that what we're seeing here is a divisive strategy, led by people like Rudy Giuliani. And this is a strategy that's existed for 20 years of turning. There is not one mayor that the head of the police union of the NYPD has not attacked like this. This is a well-worn political strategy, and we're just seeing the retread of it this year.
A failed political strategy, or Javier, a crisis of the mayor's own making?
I wonder if Mr. Orton would be saying the same thing if de Blasio was actually a Republican or a conservative mayor of New York City. Look, the only crisis being created has been on de Blasio. De Blasio's created this. That's why they've turned their back on him, and deservingly.
Well, I think Javier needs to read a history book, because this is a strategy that was not invented in 2014 because of Mayor de Blasio. This is something that the police union has been doing to gain leverage with the mayor for decades.
This is interesting, Josh, in terms of hearing someone on the left actually criticize someone in the union movement. So you did throw in Rudy Giuliani too, but I don't mean to make light. We have a serious problem here. What you heard with some of the protesters in the streets, there's no way to sugarcoat this. This is a serious situation. Now, Mayor de Blasio, yesterday, in his commencement address, seemed to be taking a conciliatory tone. Let's listen to what he had to say, then get your reaction.
You'll confront poverty. You'll confront mental illness, illegal guns, and a still too divided society. All of these challenges. And we will work every day to deepen your relationship with the communities you serve for the safety of all, for the betterment of all.
Javier, your reaction to those comments?
Well, again, how disingenuous is he? Well, it's for everyone to decide on their own. But this is the same mayor who told his biracial son to be weary of the very police officers that he's right now kissing butt to. Go figure that.
Well, Josh, I would imagine you have a different point of view.
Of course, and because I think that like any person who would look at this from the perspective of a parent, I think that people need to sort of take off their cynical glasses for a minute here when we're talking about the conversation that Mayor de Blasio had with his son. If you had a son who looked like Mayor de Blasio has, and you're aware of the history that the different experience that sometimes black youth have in their interactions with police officers, Bill de Blasio is speaking as a parent, and I think to ignore that is kind of craven. I mean, this is something that no matter what, it's impossible to say that black men in New York City don't have the exact same experiences as white young men. They just don't. The cause for that is up for debate. But
here is the challenge. The mayor can speak as a parent well and good, but he's also the mayor.
Sure.
And you have to admit there is a political angle to making that statement. It is not totally emotional. Ray Flynn was on with us earlier saying, look, he was trying to carve out a political constituency to get elected. Josh, I made that assertion. 15 seconds to you for the last word in this segment.
Look, I think we all have to be grown-ups here and realize that we can do both things at once. We can both criticize some of the tactics of the NYPD and completely respect and cherish the work they do to serve the city.
All right, fair enough. Javier, we know you've got some more thoughts, and we're going to get to those thoughts and a few other topics as we continue here on America's 4.